morning and welcome back to Wild Mountain Farm. If you're new around here, my name's Arden and today we're going to be planting tomatoes. So the tomatoes are going to be going in these two beds behind me. They look a little bit funky and we're kind of planting in the middle of the beds rather than starting it from the beginning and working backwards because we are still harvesting from in here. So we still have spicy mix, we still have cilantro, radishes, carrots that need to come out of here. So we've still got a lot of food in here, but we have tomato plants that are ready to go in. So what is the date today? I think it's like just gone past the middle of April. So we're doing pretty good. Like this is good timing. If we can get them all in before May comes around, that would be great. So in this bed here, we're going to be putting cherry tomatoes. And then in this bed back here, we're going to be putting slices. I have a mix of varieties. I'm going to do my best to keep track of them all so that we know, when they start producing, which ones we like, which ones we don't like. But before I start in there and do that, we are also going to be planting zucchinis outside too, which is another really exciting and important crop for us. If you've grown zucchini, then once they start producing, they go for it, which is great when you're, needing kind of a reliable crop every week. So we have 3 beds of zucchini that we're going to go out here. And as you can see, I've already planted some things in here. I've got a couple of rows of direct seeded in the same bed as the zucchinis are going to go. And then I also have lettuces and such in here too, because we skip beds with zucchini. They get really big, they've turned into pretty big plants, so we do every other bed to give them some room and to give us some room to get wheelbarrows in there to pick them. And then the last thing that we're going to be doing is also row covering everything too, because it is still chilly at night. Today's beautiful. I mean, I've got my sun hat out, I've got my sandals on, and it's gorgeous, but the nights are still going to be getting down into the 40s. So I've packed up a ton of row cover, bricks, hoops, and we're going to row cover everything too. So we are going to crack on and get this done. Zucchinis are in, so that's great. This is our first round of the year. We do 2 successions of them, so I think this week I'm sowing more zucchini, so in a few more weeks we'll plant more, but that's great. So I planted them at 2-foot spacing, and then like I was saying, they've got a whole bed, so they've probably got about 5 feet to spread sideways. So yes, you would like to give them lots of room. They get really big and they're really hard work to pick if you don't give them ample space. So that's brilliant. I'm going to set up the hoops and lay the bricks out, but I'm not actually going to put the row cover on until we water these in, just because the water doesn't penetrate through the row cover that great. So I'm going to do that and then I'm going to jump on to doing the tomatoes. Okay, so I have my flat of tomatoes. I don't know how many I'm going to get in here, but I can always go back to the greenhouse and get more. So like I said earlier, we're just going to be planting slicing tomatoes in this bed. I think that there's both cherry tomatoes and slices in this flat, so I'll just kind of mix and match as I'm going. But I just wanted to talk about kind of how we do this. So we plant them in black plastic, saves weeding, warms up the soil a little bit, and they just enjoy it. It just makes for a kind of a nice climate in here. And we lay drip tape underneath the black plastic. The slicing tomatoes are planted at 1.5 foot spacing. I'm going to do 2 rows in this bed, which is a little tight, but like I said before, we're a small scale farm, so we try and squeeze things in where we can. The cherry tomatoes we plant at a 2-foot spacing, so we give them a little bit more room. And the reason for that is that these slicing tomatoes, we just have 1 leader when we trellis. Now this will all make sense more when I show you how we trellis. But the cherry tomatoes, we take 2 leaders from each plant and trellis them up. So we give them a little bit more room because of that. What else is there? Oh, so usually we pot them up before we plant them out. But they're big enough right now that we're just going to put them straight in the ground and kind of skip that step. So what I've got instead is a bucket of soil mix that I would have made if we were going to pot them up, and I'm just going to put a little shovel full in each hole just to kind of give them a little bit more of a nutrients boost. So hopefully they click in and take off and do really well. So we'll see how it goes. So we plant them pretty deep. I'm going to plant this plant up to all the way up to about here, and it will throw roots out of this stem part once it's in, and it just makes them a lot sturdier, and they stand up nicely rather than kind of falling over and such once you've planted them. While we're in this house, I just wanted to show you how the carrots are coming along, because they are getting pretty big. Here, let me try and find one that's actually decent now that I've just said that. Look! So we sowed these all the way back in January. So they're getting there. Give them another 2 weeks and I think we'll be picking them. But they are so sweet. Really sweet. They're like candy. Like candy. Of course they taste better with a bit of dirt on them too. Well, that one was even more pathetic than the first one. I promise I have pulled out some bigger ones from in here. I have another variety down here too. That's supposed to be quicker, which are these ones. They are a little bit more spaced out. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. That's better. I don't think these ones have got quite as much flavour as the other ones though. I guess that's what you get if they're a little bit quicker. No, they're still pretty sweet. Okay, so that's the tomatoes in. I got about maybe just shy of 100 plants in, which is pretty good. I've hooped them. I'm going to row cover them as well, but I don't want to do that until it cools down a little bit because it's 70 degrees out, which means it's probably hotter in here. So yeah, but everything's set up and ready to go. I'm just watering in the zucchinis and then I can row cover them. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with the next project. Okay, so the last job of the day is to get these last 3 beds, or brassica beds they're going to be, composted and planted. Ashley's already fertilised them and forked them. She's even gotten 2 beds done and planted, but now we're going to finish the last 3 and get them done, and then we can call it a day. Yeah, we've done a lot of planting today. It's good though. I'm pretty red in the face. It's hot out. ended up with 3 beds of rhubarb, a bed of cauliflower and a bed of broccoli. So that's good, we're happy with that. So last job of the day is going to be row covering the zucchinis for the night, and then we're done. I think that about does it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.